Hi everybody. Well, I have the wire harness in. It's Sunday. I have a few hours to get some work done, so let's get started on the rewire of this whole car. Do it once and be done with it, hopefully. It's hot in Alabama, so we have our fans going to try to keep us as cool as possible. I've already tore up the floor, basically the covers for the wires on both sides. That side is, let me show you. That side was kind of rotten. It looks like aluminum or aluminumized steel. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm gonna make new plates for those for the driver's side. So we have some wires that go down the left side, some wires that go down the right side. Obviously, this spaghetti is gonna get sorted better, but for now, I'm just laying stuff where it's going, and then we're gonna get a game plan, and then figure out what we want to do as far as mounting and everything else like that. As soon as these wires are solved, we're going to clean up. Well, as soon as we know where the wires are going, this side's already been cleaned up. I'm going to clean it up a little bit better once I get these wires out of here, but the driver's side, we're going to clean that up. We didn't get a chance to do those over there. We're going to clean up the floors and go ahead and get them heat coated and all that stuff while we're in here. So that'll be kind of a break at some point for the wiring. So if I get frustrated, I'll probably move on to that. So you're going to see kind of a little bit of bounce around. I'm just going to have a few hours here and there to work on it. So what better time to start than right now? So we have all these lines, all those lines, fuse box relays, and then a baggie with all the other head ends on them up there. So those actually already thrown out over there. So we're going to get started. This is a name brand kit without the name attached to it and the price tag jump. So every 6 inches or so they are marked. Actually that's less than 6 inches. It said 6 inches, but that's about every 4 inches, so we can kind of tell what everything is. The only thing that's going to be just not a problem, but we're going to take one of the circuits that I don't need, probably power windows or something like that, and we're going to run power to the back there where the power window is for the rear. I don't ever anticipate putting power windows on the front, so we're just going to probably use that circuit for the rear. The wire is a little bit bigger, so it should handle going all the way back there and everything as long as it's long enough. We'll use that circuit. If not, we will find a different circuit, but we're going to get started sorting this out. I will show you guys kind of where everything's laying once I get to the point of that. All right, we've got a good bit of the, well, the underhood's almost out. The good thing about this whole thing is the original wire harness was junk. I knew that. It was chewed up by rats. So I cut it out and kept all the connectors and stuff. So we have all the extra connectors we need right here for this rewiring project if something gets boogered up. Also, the good thing is behind the dash also I have is a different one, and I have an extra underhood dash as well. He sent me both when he sent them. So I have plenty of extra connectors. I don't throw anything away typically till I'm done with the job. So I kept those knowing that I might need them. So that's all extra. And we also have an extra pass through. So I basically ripped all the old wiring out of here on the first one because I knew I had one that was good with the good wiring. It's currently in here. So I'm gonna clean this one up, reuse this one because I have a new basically plug that'll go here, and then the new wiring can pass through here, and I'll have extra grommets for other things should I need them add them later. But yeah, so the thick of this will all be gone. For now, I'm gonna leave, that's the main points of the wire harness going through there. It's gonna get pulled out that way, but for now I'm gonna leave the light stuff here because I'm probably gonna need the connectors maybe. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do for that. So for now, that's gonna get left here. The sniper is obviously on its own system here, so I don't need to touch any of those wires. We're good there. It's all running on its own standalone system. This goes to starter. I just had it dummy for a while, so I can probably get rid of that, but for now it's just gonna stay right there. That was when I was cranking it up and trying to diagnose stuff. I didn't want to put a whole lot of time into it, so the underhood's actually even getting more clean now because I wasn't a big fan of this old, just dilapidated electrical wrap wiring. So everything should look even better now under the hood. That was the only thing dingy really, was the wire harness. So forgot to say that in the last video, was I have basically 2 wire harnesses to play with connectors. So if I need to rework something, or I don't like how it's wired and I want to use the connectors, then I can. So we're going to get to work. All right, so that is essentially all the wiring stripped out except for what is for the sniper. Obviously it's minimal for the sniper. It's barely, you can see it kind of barely back there, the 4 connections in the main harness. The square over there is where the existing one came through. This is the original one. We're going back to it. That's a factory hole, but we're going to use this one for the main harness, and then this one for the sniper stuff that has to go through the ignition, and then I'll have this one as an extra for anything I might need. For now, it's just going to be unused, and I'll get a plug. So we're going to work on, well, all the old wiring is stripped out, with the exception of the actual cluster, which I'm fixing to undo completely. And then once that's undone completely, we're going to move with getting the rest of the stuff out, set the cluster out of the way for now, get this wiring essentially laid out how it's going to go, and then get started. So we haven't started yet, really. This is just initial work. So we're going to take our time right now so we don't have to just screw up everything later and have to redo everything later. I've already done this. I've already changed these wires up here out once. Don't want to do that again. So essentially we're stripping out everything except for powered units that have to come back. Okay, we are at a stopping point today. I've got to get some other stuff done with the family. So the only wire coming from the engine bay up is the pink ignition wire for the sniper. Everything else stays under hood. This is all headlights and everything under the hood. A lot of it I'm going to de-pin after I know I don't need it. But I have enough wire to come hidden, basically stay hidden with all the wiring into the engine bay, and then can tuck everything out. So I shouldn't have any crazy wires across the dash or anything. So that's pretty awesome. That clears up that firewall a good bit, which is what I wanted in the first place. This wire will go away. Obviously that was just a dummy wire going to the starter for the ignition, so I can actually get rid of probably these headlight wires after all. I wanted to leave them in there just to be sure. I'll probably utilize the grounds and some other stuff. Again, that's just sitting there. We have everything mocked up, and I'm good with where everything is. As you can see, the cluster is out. It's over there. We're going to worry about that in a little while. I have the wires for the taillights ran over like they were before. They're just coiled up over here right now. They will run through the floor like the factory does, and then across to the other side for the other taillights. Everything else, this fuse panel is going to be mounted. I'm gonna probably shoot for right here on this bottom side so I can access it, but it won't be visible from the outside. I think that's gonna be out of the way the best from the cluster. Cluster takes up a lot of room in here. Unfortunately, the whole dash is the cluster. So if I was gonna try to 3D print something or make something different, it would just be a lot of 3D printing. Anyways, fuse panel is gonna be mounted under there, upside down like so I can access everything. That wire is going to go across the dash and back. I've got plenty of wiring, and then we get to sort all this stuff and go to the brake lights, tail lights, all that stuff. Basically connect everything in. So right now everything's mocked up about where it's going to be. Obviously those wires will be pulled up a little bit tighter. I'm going to want to run wire loom so that it's also a little bit more protected from the menacing mice and other things and metal scraping. The only thing I left in the floor is these door switches. That is the wiring for the door switch for all of them for the dome lamp. So I'm gonna try to get that, what's left of my dome lamp, which is that. I'm gonna try to get that wired in later on. But anyway, I'm definitely not upset with the work I got done. We didn't have, a couple hours, but we did some other stuff. We should be well on our way, and then the biggest thing is going to be figuring out connection wise to the factory dash and vice versa, and the factory brake light switch and the column switch. So it shouldn't be a big deal, just a matter of sitting down with schematics and working it out. So the main thing is everything's where it needs to be and set up, and we should be good. we'll keep working on it, and I will see y'all soon. All right, so we got lucky. I kind of forgot about it. A guy I talked to before Power Tour had a bumper that was in better shape than mine for the wagon. It's got a few scratches, but this thing's gonna clean up real good compared to what I have. What I have is completely rusty. This one's got a little bit of rust, but I think I can get most of it out. And yep, that is the front bumper. Mine's a little dented and also rusty as crud, so this one's gonna look very nice on the wagon. And also the brackets and everything are there, so she should clean up real nice, and we are super stoked. My buddy was able to grab it for me when he went up to North Georgia this weekend, so he did me a solid with that as well. So that will be on here soon as well. All right, everyone, we are back in the shop. I had a few day delay between the holiday and I almost broke my foot. My right foot's pretty swollen. It's still pretty iffy, but it's better than it was. I just couldn't really get around on it much. That's why the boat content kind of worked out, because I was able to kind of do a lot of that stuff without really moving around too terribly much. Most of it was just sitting on my butt, getting the carpet off. So we're gonna get started on the wagon again. Obviously we're still wiring. However, we also have this nice clean front bumper, which is only missing one bracket. So we're gonna take the old bumper off in here. Obviously it rained last night finally, which is good, minus it coming in my shop. But we're going to get this old one off. And now this old one doesn't look terrible till you get to the bottom, and then it's just ate up with rust. Unfortunately, this was as good as I can get it to look. There's also a dent in the front. It adds character, but it doesn't make it look great. So that's one thing we can control. So we're gonna swap this bumper out. That's today's plan. And then we're going to also try to get on some of the wiring. All right, we're going to get this thing raised up and get to work. All right, so this job just got a little bit longer, obviously, as old things do. So the bumper is held on. Let me show you. The bumper is actually held on by the bolts going through the frame right there. The problem with that is there's no access on the other side. If you look right here, you can kind of see one of these. I'm going to show you in person, but these are J-nuts. So this slides through there and then this bolts in. The problem with that is if it breaks right here or anywhere on this clip like they like to do, you're stuck with a bolt just spinning and not really doing anything. So I've got to actually cut that bolt out and then get the other one out. Luckily, I have some extras because I learned my lesson last time. So when this new bumper goes on, we shouldn't have any more issues. I hand loosened it first and then it didn't do anything. So bad news is, yeah, I gotta cut them out. So there's one here, and then there is one right in that middle section right there. So we're gonna cut those two out and then put new bolts in, as well as the new bumper. And we have one bracket we've got to change out, which I believe is on this side. So that should be good, because this bracket was not in the best of shape. It's a little bent, so I'm hoping it's that side, and then we can get that swapped out and continue on. So this is what I was talking about with those J bolts. So this broke off right where the connector meets right there. Broke off that. So pretty much you're screwed. It just sat there and spun in the frame. So that's why I had to cut it. That's one. And then this one completely separated from the entire nut. I guess the bolt rounded out, or I'm not sure. Either way, it happens. But yeah, bumper's on now. All right, as you can see here, we swapped the brackets over that we needed. We should be good to hang this one. What makes me feel good is it's got a Ford part number. On the other side of the grass, you can kind of see it. So we're fixing to hang it and put it back up, and hopefully call this project done. We can get back to other things. All right, the new bumper is on. As you can see, it's in way better shape. We got a little scrape here and a crack at the top over here, but other than that, way much better. I mean, way more better. Wish I could show y'all just in person. I forgot about this too, a little chip right there on the chrome, but we're gonna polish this thing up a little bit, make it look shiny and nice, since the whole front end is kind of nice now. That's probably where we're gonna stop with the front end and get back to wiring. All right, so steel wool. This is kind of my favorite turtle wax chrome polish and rust remover. As you can tell, I just did this tag area. Look to the right and left. Made it shine like new money. So we're gonna do the rest of the bumper and then get it down and see what it looks like. All right, so I polished this side and stopped right here. So y'all tell me, I think that looks pretty good for hand polished. Pretty big difference. A little hazy on the other side. I gotta do the top side still, but we're gonna go ahead and finish this up and then throw a tag on it I think y'all like. All right, that's the entire bottom side is hand done. We have a little bit of, looks like there's something dripped on this. You can see the drip rail, or not drip rail, you can see the drip markings from probably like, I guess where it came off the hood or the fender. I can probably get that out with a little bit heavier compound. But for now, I'd say she's pretty good. And I'm digging this 30-year power tool tag on the front. So we're gonna keep that there. For now, I'm gonna drop it down to the top side and then we're gonna call that done. All right, top side is polished out. The only thing bugging me is these. It looks like again where the drip came down from probably the runoff on the fender of the hood. I don't know that I'll be able to get that fully out because it's kind of digged through the chrome, but a little bit heavier stuff. I've got one more trick to try that I don't have any of down here. I'll show you guys that another day. Same thing on this side. This one's side's worse, but we're gonna see if we can't get that out. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. Way better than what I had. Nice and shiny and good looking. So that's what we wanted. Next thing, or at least something I'm going to consider, is making a little air dam down here. Just so it looks a bit more sporty, but that's on my list of needs, not really a want. So we're going to go back on the wiring. Again, I apologize for the lack of Wagon content. I know those of you that like the Wagon have been fiending a little bit. My foot's healing up. I was at least able to move around a little bit today on it and get this bumper on. So we'll continue on.